Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of CWS WWE Breakdown. And we have a special guest on hand today, host of the Playbook Production Podcast and co-owner of TWA Wiffle Ball, Santino Baxter. What's going on, man?
Absolutely honored to be here, and I'm really excited to give my feedback on what we just saw. So, thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
So, in this video, since WrestleMania was last weekend, but the weekend before that, we're going to give our reactions to that and the Raw and SmackDown after that. So, first and foremost, we'll just talk about night one. Is there any matches that you want to talk about, I guess? Because I think it's, for me at least, night one was definitely more left on a negative note more than a positive note. But I guess we can start off with a match that we didn't have too much expectations going into. We kind of knew what the match was going to be. We'll talk about the six-man tag match with LA Knight and the Usos and Speed and the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory. What were your guys' thoughts on that match as a whole?
I guess I'll start. Um, I'm I'm of the mindset that, excuse me, it was a great match. Okay. The only issue I had with it, right, was the time and the length of it. The actual entertainment aspect was great. You had Speed with his moment. He did the splash off the top rope onto the table. That was big. You get Speed involved. You know what happens when you get Speed involved? You get more eyes involved. Okay, because Speed brings a big audience. And he's not one of those celebrities that messes anything up because you didn't put him in a high scale situation, in a high scale feud that he doesn't need to be in. This was a low scale feud. He fit in perfectly. Everything worked out. My only gripe with the whole match was the length. I think it was like what, 5 minutes, maybe less. I mean, it was poor. Um, and My assumption is because they were on ESPN and they had to fit the first two matches within the hour. So it's all about business. So I think the bigger thing to take away from this match was that TKO is ruining WrestleMania and ruining WWE as a whole. Okay,
I
because
agree.
it that alone, the time lengths of WrestleMania and the individual matches were absolutely horrendous. But besides that, I thought it was pretty entertaining. But I would have liked it to be longer.
My thoughts is I think that all titles should be defended. I'm pretty sad that even though it was a three-man tag match, that the titles weren't defended. That's my only gripe with it. I like the result. I like the outcome. I like Speed turning on Logan and Austin. And yeah, good match. I was very sports entertained.
I I've been of that mindset since day one that every title should be defended. So I 100% agree. But I do think though, if the titles would have been defended, they probably would have had um, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and ISP. They would have had him retain and win. So that's why I'm kind of glad they didn't because I'm glad the match went how it did. Speed hitting the splash was super cool to see, and now I really think it'd be fun if we could get like a Logan Paul I Show Speed feud. The Prime they work on Prime together, have them be in a feud. I think that'd be really fun. You know they got to do something because TKO's running the show into the ground. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was going to say too. I think this should off of this it should be a Logan Paul I Show Speed feud. I think that would be pretty cool because Speed I think has shown enough in the appearances he's had and the work he's put in that he could have a proper one-on-one match, and both him and Logan Paul are high flyers and they could do a lot of great stuff from the top rope and stuff like that, and I think that'd be a very entertaining match. I thought this match was exactly what needed to be. The length does suck. I wish we could have seen more spots from everyone, but I think this match, like I said, it was exactly what it needed to be. A match that LA Knight and the Usos came out and won, and Speed looked great, and which he did. So, but moving on to the next match, that was the second of that hour, on ESPN. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in a unsanctioned match. What are your guys' thoughts on that match as a whole?
I liked the match. Jacob Fatu deserved this win. He's now 2-0 in his WrestleMania matches, maybe the start of a new streak. Uh, yeah, I like Drew McIntyre's ex Twitter post. That's like his new annual WrestleMania thing. And I think he's filming a movie soon, so this could be a good write-off for him to shoot that movie.
Woof. I think that it was the probably off the top of my head that I'm remembering the second best match of night one. Okay. Um, it was great. I loved it. Um, it was it was a good length. Um, good a good match. I really have no gripes with it at all. The right person won. It was entertaining. It sucks that Drew McIntyre kind of had to lose the WWE title for it to get in the hands of Cody Rhodes for that to be the main event that we saw, which was atrocious. Like I think the better option, like I said before, the better option looking back would have been easily a fatal four way. I'm sorry, the fatal four way would have been so much better because that Randy Orton Cody Rhodes match was not needed at all. Okay, so but for what it was a good match. Um, it was a good match.
I love that match. That match was so entertaining to watch. The people I was watching it with were hating on that match. I don't understand how they can hate on it. They were saying it wasn't unsanctioned enough. What are we talking about? That match was phenomenal. The only thing it was missing was I think they should have taken all the blood that they used in the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton match and thrown it in this match. They had more blood in the two main events of night one and night two than they did in both of the street fight and the unsanctioned match, which was like, okay, whatever. And then we have Cody Rhodes fucking running the blood through his hair like a fucking idiot. Don't get me started on that match. We'll get there. But this Fatu and McIntyre match was so fun. They're both amazing. And I think that Fatu, I mean, he's going to lose to Reigns. We'll get there later. But he's going to lose it to Reigns. But he needs to get a title. I love Fatu so much. But that match was, like you. I agree with what you said, Chris. This was probably the second best match of the night besides one other one.
Yeah, I like you bring up the point about the blood because that's the only match. This is the only thing that's match missed or needed, honestly, because it's an unsanctioned match. It would make sense that there was blood. I think the only reason why there wasn't blood is because it was on ESPN and they're scared of the viewers
Yeah.
that are going to see it on ESPN. But at the end of the day,
PG-13 rating.
exactly. But they put UFC on there and from time to time, and there's blood there too. So I don't get the point with all that. But I thought it was a solid match. Like you said, the right person won. So now Jacob Fatu can now be part of the main event scene, and I think this is going to be a first great feud with Roman Reigns, and we'll talk about I think what that leads to after that. But I think it was a good match. Both guys performed really well. But I, like you said, Santino, it sucks that they had to sacrifice Drew's title in order to do this. So, but moving on to the next hour of 2 hours after ESPN, our first match was the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And Chris, let me ask you this: was this your bathroom break of night one?
Woof. No. I'll tell you why. If I may start, I'll tell you why. First of all, I thought that coming out of the first hour, I would feel better because first hour felt a little rushed, whatever, you have to get 2 matches in, whatever, great, right? Even like John Cena coming out in the beginning felt rushed. Okay, everything just felt rushed. I mean, John Cena's supposed to be your host, and you're supposed to be excited. Oh, John Cena about to. We saw him for like 2 minutes, and then he left, and then we didn't see him again. Everything was rushed. Okay, so I thought I would feel better in the next hour, but I didn't. The only thing that was exciting about this match was Paige's entrance. Okay, woof. Okay, once they announced it was Paige, which a lot of most people kind of figured out.
Because they spoiled it.
Right, which again, that's another issue, but whatever. I was just excited to see her. I didn't care. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was scrolling on my phone for some of the match because I just didn't care. It was boring, but they should have won, and the only reason they should have won is because of the rivalries that can spark from this. easily Nikki Bella should feel some type of way. Nikki Bella should end up going after Paige in the long run. We get a Nikki Bella versus Paige because we don't want to see Nikki Bella versus Brie Bella. We've been there, done that back in the day. SummerSlam, that's done, right? We want to see Nikki Bella versus Paige, and that's easy to build. That's easy. So the right team won. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss need to break up. Okay, I want to see both of them back in the main event scene, even though it's going to be hard to put Alexa Bliss in the main event scene because of the pins that she's taken over the last year. Okay, her stock has kind of went down. Okay, Lyra, Valkyria, and Bailey, they're kind of just there to me. And Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, they should just stay a tag team because I think they're better together than they are individually. But other than that, it was a good moment with Paige, but the match itself, I don't really care. And I don't know what they should do because they keep doing these because in the past they've done like the Fatal 4-Way women tag team matches at WrestleMania. I guess it's needed to get everybody on the card, but a lot of them have been lackluster. Like the last time they did one with WrestleMania 39 off the top of my head with Ronda Rousey and
That wasn't even for the tag team championships either. It was just a bunch. It was a fatal. They did it for the
brother.
men and for the women's. They just threw.
And the men's one that year was actually fire. The women's one sucked. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Ed or Santino, what were your guys' thoughts on the match?
Yeah, the Paige return was great. Yeah, it was a okay match. I didn't expect any bangers, but yeah, I'm happy with the return and happy with the win.
Yeah, the return was kind of, I was sitting there. I was like, "Yo," I'll turn to people. I was like, "Yo, you guys want to go get some food? Like, we can go get some food. Come back by the time the match is over." And all of a sudden, I hear Paige's music hit, and I'm like, "Well, shit." And then I was like, "Oh, well, Paige's gonna come back. They're not gonna win the match." And they won the match, and I was like, okay." I thought personally that they should have had Nia Jackson, Last Legend, retain, just because I felt like they're two big, strong women. Let them win the match and let them keep dominating, and then you build off of something with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte to face off against the Bella Twins and Paige, forcing, like you said, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to break up because they need to break up at this point. Put them back in the main event scene. But overall, match was eh. Paige returning was the only really part I was happy about. It was nice to see the Bella Twins, but other than that, it was whatever.
Yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, with this match, it kind of what is expected to be another match that was short and like barely. I think I can't even like remember the only spots I literally can remember was the end. I don't remember Bailey or Lyra having a notable spot. The only two notable spots I remember is the Paige Charlotte Flair face off, and then the face off or the end of the match where Paige hit the Rampage on Alexa Bliss. I think it is good that Alexa and Charlotte took the pin because they got to get out of the tag division. Like it does, and now that I'm just gonna bring this up now that Fatal Influence has got called up, they can literally slot in and take their place, and those two can go into the singles division. I think it's a perfect slot. So
that's gonna be good with Fatal Influence. That and the reaction they got, that's what we need. Okay,
exactly,
and that's another reason why, like that reaction is what freaking Lash Legend and Nia Jax. I feel like I feel like they were boring and like nobody really cared when they were on TV. I feel like at least with Paige and Brie Bella as a champions, there's more interest.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, though, with Paige and Brie Bella, they have to take the titles off them soon. Like it can't be like they just can't have the titles on them because I think, although Nia, I think because what they did with Nia and Lash, at least they had them defend the titles, and they should stick in the tag team ecosystem. Bailey and Lyra have nothing right now, so they should stick in the tag team ecosystem. And the thing with this tag team is, honestly, let me ask you guys this: are you fine with leaving it on one brand, or you want it to go over from brand to brand?
Brand to brand.
Okay.
Brand to brand.
Brand to brand. Expand it as much as possible. There's not enough division to do a one brand each. That's why they're
Yeah.
making makeshifts. They've been making makeshift tag teams for the last 3 years, but none of these tag teams are actually tag teams. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, they made together. Lyra, Valkyria, and Bailey, they made together. None of these are actually, but so you have to go all brands.
Yeah. So, but we'll move on from the tag teams from now. We'll move on to
But
the.
Zach, I will
Oh,
say,
go ahead.
like you said, because Santino said it too. It was going to be a bathroom break. It was going to be a lunch break. I mean, we both had the same idea as soon as they came on the television. Okay, but yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. So moving on to the next match, that was also a women's match. It was the Women's Intercontinental Championship between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch retains the Intercontinental Championship. And Santino, you're a pretty big Becky guy, right?
I would say so. I mean,
Okay,
I think
so
she's the best ever
okay.
women's wrestler.
So what were your thoughts on that match?
You know, I was after that fatal four way. I was kind of like, wow, this has really been like. Besides that Fatu match, it hasn't been going great. But I mean, aside from the length, I thought it should have been a little bit longer. I overall thought it was a good match. I actually liked it. I had a bunch of haters in my room, like I said, hating on it. Oh, AJ Lee needs to win. AJ Lee needs to win. No, Becky Lynch needs to win that because she's the GOAT. She is the man, the GOAT, and I'm glad she won. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's just not
I
her
do
saying it. Sorry, go ahead.
I do agree that Becky needs to win. AJ is a part timer and she might not be back on screen for a while. While she was good, she just didn't show up for like the first part of her intercontinental title reign. Maybe I don't know. AJ Lee bores me for some reason. Maybe I don't want to say she's too old because just she's too extra.
Yeah,
But
I get
that's
what you're
with her
saying.
whole personality.
One, her promos don't hit like they used to when she was in her prime, and two, I think her style of wrestling doesn't really fit the way of wrestling it is now.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Chris.
So as when Santino said Becky Lynch is the GOAT, as my mind was going, I was trying to like combat. I was trying to combat it and like try and go against him. Um, but I really can't. So I'll give him that one because I think Zach, you were gonna say it. It's not just what did she say? It's not just Sports Illustrated saying it. It's the
It's
Bleacher
not just
Report.
me saying
It's
it.
not just the Bleacher Report saying it.
It's the Bleacher Report.
The
Yeah.
Bleacher Report. Yeah. Because listen, it's yeah, she's like that. But Ed is totally correct. AJ Lee, I hate to say it. I mean, her return was great and it was exciting, but it's the every like you said, her style of wrestling might not fit anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe her promos aren't good. That's for sure. I mean, her promos. I'm gonna be honest. Her promos might be worse. Like they're on the same level or worse than
Braun
than
Breaker.
he's not good either. But I was gonna say Jade Cargill because he hasn't been good either. But because AJ Lee has been AJ Lee has been. Oh, okay. I think the only reason why she's still there is because of just fanfare and nostalgia, right? But the match
Yeah.
itself, um, it was cool. I think they should have separated some of the women's matches into night two. All three. There was three women's matches back to back, all boom 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 on night one, and then um
Rhea
there
Ripley and Jade Cargill.
on night
Yeah.
two. It's like they did that on purpose. Like I think you should have put one of those matches on night two and it would have been more even. But the match itself was fine. I don't really have anything to say about it. It was there. The right person won. You couldn't have had AJ win. She's a part time. We all know this. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I don't got much to say about this match. Right winner was. I'm just interested to see who they give the title to after Becky Lynch because they need to get Becky Lynch back into the main event scene. That's how I feel. Moving on to the next match. Chris predicted it. I had a feeling it was going to be this way. Easily the match of the night. Seth Rollins, Gunther, and it happened in the right way. It happened. Gunther won, not clean. which protected Rollins, protected Gunther, and it was a cinema match. Both guys went at it, and it just showed the pure performer that Seth Rollins is to carry every year at WrestleMania. One of the most underrated guys in the company. The revolutionary, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins.
Talk your stuff, Zach. Keep going. You have anything else to say? Talk your stuff. You're saying everything I need to say. Zach, there's nothing for me to say. I said it was easily. Seth Rollins' WrestleMania resume is ridiculous at this point. Okay, because he made the show feel lively. Before that match, it was like woof. This WrestleMania night one, oh my goodness, it's rushed. It's not it. It's TKO vibes. Woof. Okay, that match. Besides the kind of moment that they kind of ruined, when Braun Breaker ran down the ramp, but then the spear was like not good. Besides that, if you guys know what I'm talking about, besides that, it was great. Everything that happened was supposed to happen. Match was great vibes. Everything was great. Best match of night one. Top three match of the weekend. It was great.
Now, here's my thing. I agree. This was by far the best match of night one, and it's not even close. Like you said, absolute cinema. This match was incredible. It just goes to show how good Seth Rollins is, and even like shout out Gunther. He did his thing. It was a phenomenal match. But my thing, which ruined this whole, honestly, the whole Mania, not ruined it, but made this Mania go down for me, was we talk about Paige returning. When everyone kind of knew at that point that Paige was going to be coming back. A lot of people knew she's coming back. In this match, it was kind of obvious that Breaker was going to come out and attack Rollins and have Gunther win the match. We'll get into more later on. A lot of this Mania felt predictable to me. In like the big spots seemed like, oh, this was obviously going to happen. No, like, come on. Everyone knew this was going to happen. And for me, when I'm watching Mania and like the Rumble, the returns are and the surprises are like, okay, these are like the peaks of the moments. And now they've all seemed too predictable. And I think there's one thing to blame for that, TKO. And it's as simple as that. This match was still fire. I went back and watched it. It still hits. And definitely like at least mere minimum top 5 match of the whole Mania. Definitely the best match in night one.
You got anything, Ed?
No, they can hoop. That's it. They're ballers. This was easily the best match in night one. I wouldn't. I would have this match replace the go where Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu went because they're just pure hoopers. They can put on a show. They could attract more viewers, especially on ESPN if it were there. It should have been. I think it should have opened the night. To be honest with you,
Yeah, because
either that or the women's world title match.
Yeah.
I think that's what.
You all right there, Chris?
We're gonna see.
We'll get into it with the World Heavyweight Women's World Championship match. But Santino, I love the point that you brought up that surprises and returns are supposed to be the climax of the match. It felt like we were already at the climax, and Braun Breaker returning dropped it down to like the very beginning. Like we knew it was going to happen. Honestly, I wouldn't even consider the fact scratching it. Because at the end of the day, it kind of seems like they're going to drop this persona of Gunther as the career killer. Make him lose, Seth Rollins wins, he's celebrating out there the next night, and then Braun Breaker comes back. Or Braun Breaker comes back. At the end of the day, Gunther has lost his spot as this behemoth guy. It no longer is his spot anymore. It's the ruler of Obafemi's spot. That's who I think it is. So, but you guys obviously seem to disagree. I want to see what you guys have to say.
One thing I want to point out, we're forgetting about something very important with this match, was since Gunther won, he now has that favor from Paul Heyman.
Brock Lesnar might have freaking retired, dude.
He did it because this is all part of the script. I got the script. He retired, and now the favor that Gunther is going to ask from Paul Heyman is bring Lesnar's hillbilly ass back to
I agree.
WWE, let me bury his dumb ass, and send him off in a retirement home to where he needs to be. That's what it's going to be. And like I said from before, if that happens, more things that are too predictable. I've been saying this, Zach, I've been saying this for the last 5 weeks. I was going to happen. So that's what
Chris, you got anything to share?
So Santino's, I think he's correct because I told this to Zach too. I think the night after, whatever, I said it too. I mean, it was this first thing. I mean, boom, right now the chance that he actually did retire is there. I think it's 50-50. But it's in Minnesota. I think it's all like you said, it's all a part of the plan. They put out the SummerSlam graphics. He wasn't in it. I think that's just lore to make people think that he's really retired. Um, I think the best option would be for him to be done. I think he should end his career against Obafemi. That was a great ending. I think for him to come back, by the way, ESPN posted retirement. Everybody's posting him, right? For him to kind of not fake it, but for him to come back and then face Gunther, someone who's a lower scale than Obafemi, especially if he loses, it's kind of like it's like I don't really care. Like I don't really want to see Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, to be honest, because they're gonna want Gunther to win, and they're gonna make Gunther this big bad dog, okay? And he's not that. That's like you said, Zach. That's bots now to Obafemi. So I think it's a perfect retirement. Will he come out of it? Probably, but I hope he doesn't. Back to a point that you said, Zach, before, or somebody said it. I think if Gunther had to have won the match at WrestleMania, especially looking at his WrestleMania track record, when Gunther's supposed to be this big bad dog, career killer, whatever, you lose to Sami Zayn and you lose to Jey Uso, okay? Okay, you lose your Intercontinental Championship and then you lose your World Heavyweight Championship. He needed to win at WrestleMania. He absolutely needed that because he was just looking horrible. I mean, okay. And the thing about the predictability factor is I think there's just certain matches that are just gonna have to be predictable, especially this one, since this one was kind of a makeshift one. It was like there was injuries, so you had to just put the pieces together. It was kind of like an injury makeshift match because
Yeah, but
Braun
at the end
Breaker
of
was
the day,
injured. Because like, what else were you gonna do? That's my thing.
but I think that also goes to credit to these two that they didn't need a storyline to build such a perfect match. So I think at
Yeah,
the end of the day, it makes sense Gunther winning and everything like that. But I just say as the match went on, I think them scratching and then them actually letting finish out the match, I think would have been added more cinema to the match as a whole.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
but we'll
Definitely.
see. But hey, from what we're getting, we're gonna at least gonna get Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker at Backlash. That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be the feud of the summer. So, but we'll
I'm
get in
more. I'm
that.
not gonna lie. You can argue. I'm not gonna lie. This backlash card so far with 3 matches we have. Oof, I'm excited. I mean, I don't want to compare it
It
to
might already be
WrestleMania,
it might already be
but
better than Night One of Mania.
so
So, but moving on to one of two controversial matches during our WrestleMania predictions video, uh, Women's World Championship match versus Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. Chris seems like he's already doing his victory laps over here. Uh, Let me tell you this before you get into it, Chris. Like I said, with the entire feud, they didn't give this match the right amount of time. You give this match 10 more minutes, and it's a 5-star match. These two are pure performers. They did it with the promos before WrestleMania. You give them the time in this match, and you let it work out. You don't even have to get Roxanne and I knew this match was over and it was going to be quick when Stephanie Vaquer hit the Devil's Kiss with 2 minutes into the match. Like, they used that so quick. They didn't give these two any time whatsoever. I was fine with Liv winning, but you give them 15, 20 minutes, you get a great wrestling match to bounce off a great feud that they had. But go ahead, Chris. I know you got things you want to say.
I right now, and someone else go because I'm looking something up. I'm looking up statistics. If anybody else wants to
I
go.
I 1,000% agree with what you said, Zach. For one, Liv Morgan winning was the right thing. That's for sure. She's phenomenal. I love her. She's great. This match, I correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this match was either like no pun intended, 6 or 7 minutes long. We're giving
It
the
was 7.
women's championship match that little time? Are we dead ass? And if they gave it not even 10 more minutes, they give that match double the time it had. and that's a phenomenal match. It's like, why? I don't understand. And then they make this Cody Rhodes Randy Orton match an hour long for it to be a shit main event, and it was terrible. And then they give this World Championship match, which would have probably been a good ass match, just they give it more time. I don't understand. Liv Morgan needed her flowers to have a longer match to show that she's like that, and then she just wins in like 5 minutes. It's like, what are we doing?
Ed, you go.
I feel like that this match needed to be longer. Yeah, it needed to be longer. The only thing I didn't like about this match was Liv Morgan's new theme song. It's auto-tuned. I didn't really enjoy it. But other than that, they needed more time. I don't like the interference with the Judgment Day because I feel like Liv already proved herself when she retained the title during SummerSlam 2024 against Rhea Ripley. And she doesn't need the Judgment Day's help in retaining the championship. She can swoop on her own.
Whoa. So life is about circumstance, right? Life is about circumstance, and it, you know, you enjoy life based on who you are surrounded by. And I love the people I'm surrounded by. For example, Zach, right? Good guy, great podcast, a bunch of different podcasts. He's been doing great in this space. I'm proud of him, just like I'm proud of everybody else on this panel. But this guy specifically, when you hype up a match to a certain degree, there's an expectation that's expected when you watch, right? So for me, I had a high expectation for Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan because it was supposed to be the show stealer, the best match of the night, right? So as the match ended, and I'm getting vibes that Speed's match was more entertaining and better than that match. Then my head kind of goes like, what was Zach talking about? And then to go even further, when night two came about and Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley was a better match than theirs, some I say this to say, sometimes, you got to pick your battles. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan was okay. I agree with Ed. Her entrance was not needed. I don't know what it was, but I didn't, whatever. It was there. Like nothing from the match stood out to me. Nothing was like, oh my God, it's so exciting. I just feel like I knew, like the build was great, but I don't know. I wasn't really intrigued as much as Zach was and everybody else was. I felt like, watching these women in their career, I knew Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley was going to be a better match. And we'll get to that, but it was cool. I think Speed's match was better. Jacob Fatu versus McIntyre was better. Gunther and Seth. It was a little bit above AJ and Becky, but it didn't really do anything for me. But it was good. It definitely shouldn't have opened the night. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
I'm not gonna lie, Zach. He just absolutely fried you, but nothing he said there was incorrect.
This is just TKO screwing me over. This is that simple. I'm telling you, bro. I will go to my grave saying that the Liv Morgan Stephanie Vaquer match would have been better than the Jade Cargill Rhea Ripley match if it was given 10 more minutes, maybe 5 more minutes. It would have been plain and simple. So
I don't know, brother, because I looked. The Jade Cargill Rhea Ripley match was only 10 minutes, and the other one was 7 minutes. So I mean, it was very close. But listen, we could maybe if they were given 3 more minutes, it would have been better. I don't know. So you could be right about that.
But at the same time, with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, there was interference, but there was interference for both sides. Stephanie Vaquer had nobody, so that's where it kind of... And Io Sky shouldn't have been in a WrestleMania match. She should not have been part of that. That it kind of elevated it in that sense, too. Because Io Sky is just a pure performer. She came out there, freaking did a backflip onto the baddies. So that adds to the level of greatness in the match, if you think about it.
Okay, real quick. I think I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but I think going into both matches, Both like you have to have put both interferences in. So I think just the match even before the interference, I think was better than Stephanie Becker and Liv Morgan, I would say. But I see what you're saying. It definitely elevated the match.
So
Now,
yeah,
real quick. The one thing that people didn't, I noticed. You guys probably saw it too. At the end of the match, when they're all sitting in the ring celebrating, you look at Raquel Rodriguez, and she looks mad as hell, staring at that title. And I think in the very near future, I could even see that. I could even see it sooner rather than later. We're gonna have Raquel Rodriguez versus Liv Morgan for the championship because Raquel's gonna turn on the Judgment Day. It's clear as day because she literally was standing at that belt like it owed her money. She looked mad as hell. So I'm just saying.
we're just gonna get what we got, or we're just gonna get what we have in our main event, what we're gonna talk about next. Randy Orton stares at the title for damn new 2 years, and nothing happens. But moving on from hopefully that's not the case. But moving on to that similar note, let's talk about our night one main event. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And before you guys say anything, the best part of this match is what was supposed to happen at the beginning of this match when Jelly Roll took out Pat McAfee. Other than that, there's nothing I can really take out of this match that I was excited about, except for the post match when Randy Orton punched the crap out of Cody Rhodes in his head. Other than that, there's not much I could take out of this match that I was excited or happy about.
I agree. The build was ruined when Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee got involved. If it was just Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, I would have been happy. But Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee were inserted by TKO. I don't like that. I like pure wrestling. This isn't pure wrestling. It's they're corporate plants. They have no idea what to do in the wrestling business. They might be fans, but they're not like they didn't go through the twists and turns. They didn't go through the path that Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton went down. They're not experienced enough to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
And honestly, at the start, when Zach, once again, another thing that it was pretty obvious what was going to happen, but it was still cool. Jelly Roll puts McAfee through the table, sends his ass on a stretcher. They should have left it at that. I think if you take that out and you don't have McAfee come back out and do the referee stuff, the match could have been saved. Maybe you let it. The ending changes a little bit, and they plan it differently. I think having Jelly Roll take him out at the start was the right thing. It was just at the end when you have McAfee come back out. I saw that. I spiked my remote control. It broke. I wish I brought it up here. It's broke. And then it ended up costing right in the match. Rhodes should not have retained. I still will stand on it. The greatest wrestler of all time, Randy Orton, should have won the match. And it's ridiculous he didn't. You're absolutely right that Triple H has a vendetta. Chris, I see your face. I love Randy Orton. It may not be the truth.
He's not the best wrestler of all time.
He's my favorite. You're right. He's not the best. He's my favorite. This is my GOAT. And he should have won. Triple H just hates him because he doesn't want him to go past him. Because at this point, Orton should be past Cena.
First off, I'll go in chronological order. I disagree. I think Santino said that you thought the match could have been saved. Respectfully, I don't think the match could have been. I think from the beginning. Yeah, I think from the beginning, from the whole McAfee situation, I was not interested at all. Like I don't know. Like my crazy mind was like, oh, maybe The Rock will show up or something. I was like, maybe that's the only way that like anything would be interesting because for the whole match, I was sipping on my tea. It was so boring. I was daydreaming. I started thinking about Steph Curry and the Warriors and how we lost the playoffs. That's what I was thinking about. It was bad. Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Okay. The match was horrible. I thought it was borderline John Cena versus Cody Rhodes the year before. It was not good.
Was this worse or better than that? Let me ask you that real quick.
Somebody can argue either or. I could say it was worse just because the outcome wasn't good either. Like maybe if Randy would have won, then it would have been better. But since Cody won, it was boring. At least John Cena got his eighth. What was 17th. I mean, it was, but the match itself, it could have been saved. Everything was boring. I really don't care. Um, and even the match was slow because we all know Randy Orton works slow, but it was like extra slow. I don't know. It's not even like
I also
Cody.
think
Yeah, go ahead.
I also think Randy Orton was dealing with an injury. That's why I think they didn't have him win too. He had a back injury.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that too.
and
I
man,
mean,
if you knew that coming in, scrap this McAfee crap and keep the championship on McIntyre. Have it a fatal 4-way so these guys don't have to have too much attention on them. Because when you have a single one-on-one match for the championship, all the focus is on those two competitors. So if they see the slip ups, they see the performer not moving as fast as usual, they're gonna notice that, and it would just been an easier fix to keep it as a fatal 4-way because you saw how things end up. Before you get back to your thoughts, I think this was just a bunch of TKO slop. I thought it was terrible. I knew it was going to be terrible going in. And the best part about it was Randy Orton punting Cody Rhodes' head like a football, and he was a kicker. So,
one thing before we go on to night two that I want to touch on. Yeah, because by the way, I don't have anything else for this match, and so I have absolutely nothing else for the match. Boring. I don't care. Right. One thing I do want to touch on before, because I think this was night one, because night two was the Danhausen bit. Night one, my goat, not my goat, but someone who I've been waiting to come back. I wanted to see in feuds. I wanted to, see against Jade. I was waiting for her to come back because the division missed her sorely, and she's so dearly missed when
goddamn Montez Ford. Goddamn
when
Montez
Bianca,
Ford.
when Bianca came out, man, I was, oh my gosh. So she's gonna be out even longer. She's gone.
Her and Naomi too. Like
They're done. They're
they're
gone.
done.
I mean, so it sucks because she's missed with her athletic ability and she's just great. So congrats to her, but I was disappointed and happy at the same time. I was like, wow, because I was maybe hoping she would come back and interfere in the Jade Cargill match, and that's how Rhea would have won, and that's how she would have won. But it's okay. We ball.
Yeah.
Real
Go ahead,
quick,
Santita.
per my sources, allegedly, Orton was supposed to win the match against Rhodes, and then I believe it was a few days before he hurt his back, and that's why they had Rhodes win it. This is per the sources. Per sources.
Okay.
I also
Yeah.
thought that source. Oh, also, one other thing for the main event. When McAfee came out and he did the 1, 2, 3 count, why didn't he do a fast count if he wanted Orton to win?
He's supposed to be the heel. Like what? Like he's supposed to be the heel.
And it was an even slower count than a normal referee. He went 1, 2. Like, bro, what are you doing?
I don't get it. But let's move on. Let's wash night one away from our thoughts and move on to the 10 times better night 2 of WrestleMania. New stage, everything, new night, and it was definitely a new night in the matches. First match to kick.
I have a
Go ahead,
question
Chris.
before. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. What do you guys think about like the new format that they did, where it's like each night has their different graphic? Because they didn't do that before.
I thought it gave night 2. I think that night two's graphics fit more for night 2.
Okay,
Exactly.
so you like that,
Yeah.
like the way they do like the separate.
Yeah, so we know which night is shit and which night is good.
Okay, okay, makes sense.
So night 1 or night 2. Can we just? Oh, but I told you, Chris, he was gonna win. The ruler destroys the beast in 5 minutes.
I also said he was going to win. It was stupid to not have him win.
Exactly, and especially that now Brock.
Yo, I think me and Santino are on the same page. I think we're on the same page here. I don't know.
But now that we know, and Brock stays retired, do you agree with the decision of Obafemi winning?
No.
What?
Still no.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
For him
Go ahead,
to be in
brother.
a feud with Roman Reigns already. It's too early.
I'm
It's
like
too
you.
early.
What do you
Yo, I'm
mean?
not lying.
What do you mean?
Put him on every week. Put him on every week.
Yo, have Brock Lesnar win. Have him win, right? Okay, let's say he doesn't retire. Have him win. You have him go on. I get you guys were saying before. I would have him go on and face Gunther and lose to Gunther. That would have been better because Gunther doesn't need it. Obafemi did not need a win, and he won in 5 minutes, like you guys said. But the match was like 3 minutes long because Brock was running around outside the ring half the time.
Tony, I don't even know if I can say anything. I don't even know if I can say anything because we're on the same page. Excuse me. Now look at it this way. Since everybody wanted the big moment, which was great, we're not saying that moment wasn't great. It was huge. But you have to think about long-term booking. You have to think about the future and what it's going to bring. Now that he's beaten Brock Lesnar, who's had the highest, biggest standard for 20 years, he skipped the entire roster in his rookie year. It's reminding me of I don't even know, what is he going to do now?
Brock Lesnar.
But what is he going to do now? What is he going to do now? What is he going to do now?
He's going to win the championship. He's going to win the championship.
Why is he facing Roman Reigns in his? Why? He should have. What would have been better? He didn't need the win. He should have lost to Oba. He should have lost to Brock. Okay, and then had little rivalries all the way up to build himself up. He didn't need it. Go ahead.
In the words of Braun Breaker, half of these guys are nearly 40 years old. They need to start building the future now. They need to start building the face of the company. I don't want QB1 Cody Rhodes in here anymore. I want Obafemi, the face of the company. It makes sense to put a championship on him now.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But I have a question. One question, and then I'll move. One question. Do you think that if he would have lost, his reactions on Raw and everything else would have been different? No, they would have cheered him probably more.
Think about it. They did exactly what they did with Roman Reigns when he defeated The Undertaker. He didn't say anything, said, I'm the ruler now, drops the mic, and the ruler has arrived, drops the mic and leaves. And now he's going to be doing Obafemi Open challenges. I think they're literally just going to build him up as much as possible and have him face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I think it's what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen. And I think
the smartest thing you can do would be to put him up against Bronson Reed because he pinned Roman Reigns at Clash in Australia or the one PLE.
Yeah, it was the one in Australia because Roman beat him in Clash in Paris, but then Bronson beat him. I think it wasn't Night of Champions, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, Roman beat him in the first one, and then Bronson beat him in the second one. So yeah.
So if that's a natural progression, Oba should beat Bronson within one of these next PLEs.
That's when Bronson comes back too. We'll see what happens. Yeah. No,
I just think that all of this, what you're saying, could have been done if he lost. One thing I'll say, you could have had Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, right? Night 2, and Brock Lesnar wins, right? Boom. Great. Obafemi could have still did his open challenges and be like, he wants to, prove himself, right? Then you could have done Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar 2 at SummerSlam, and then Obafemi got that one. That would have been better, and that would have been a better long-term, and then have him retire Brock Lesnar there. That would have been great. And then Brock Lesnar, they would have retired 1-1. We would never see the trilogy. Obafemi would have been up. It would have been great. That would have been the better option rather than just. And I don't know. I will say so. Good away from that. I'll say this. This should have been the main event of night 1, and given more time. That's the last thing I'll say.
And that's the one thing I think this match needed to be even better than. Let's all things aside with the outcome. Fun match. Now, I understand Brock Lesnar, he's putting up LeBron type numbers. He's 45, whatever. The match was 5 minutes, and he was outside of the ring walking around admiring Obafemi for 2 of the minutes. Give the match some more time, and I think it would have been even better of a match. After the first match, everyone was like, "Oh, that match!" I was like, it was a good match. It just was so short. It was the same thing as the LA Knight whatever match. That one should have been a little longer too. This one needed 2 or 3 more minutes to make up for the time that was lost of him being outside the ring. But I understand Brock is old. Still a good match though. 100%. Obafemi is tough, but Brock should have won still.
I bring this to you guys. Obviously, Brock was an experienced guy at the time But Brock Lesnar did the unthinkable. He defeated The Undertaker's undefeated streak. What did he end up doing later that summer? He beat John Cena for the WWE Championship. I'm just saying.
Wait, what's the point here? I'm just trying to figure out the point. What are we
They
getting
could be
at?
doing the same thing with Obafemi. I'm just saying.
Except without John Cena.
All right, bro. No need to throw the headphones. It ain't that serious.
So you're gonna bury the OTC like that, real
Bury
quick.
the OTC. Let
You
him.
just you just said he's gonna beat the. You implied that Obafemi's gonna beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
He could be Cody Rhodes.
No, he doesn't need to be. Anyway, it's his first year, guy. I just think we guys would do. I don't know.
Give him time.
When's the
Give him
last
a
time you seen a guy?
Time.
When's the last time you saw a guy like him come up and make this impact this early?
We haven't, but he's already doing crazy things. He doesn't need to be the champion. If he's not the champion, that doesn't mean he's buried. I think a better build.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying the way in the eyes of WWE, and I bring this back again, half of their guys are in their near 40s. They need to start building the faces of this. They did this with this WrestleMania. Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Obafemi. Obafemi's the guy that's going to jump ahead of everyone else for now. Trick and Javon will get there too. They'll be in the championship scene with Oba. But as of right now, Oba's the guy ahead of those two right now to easily be in the championship window and win the championship first out of all those guys. I think that's what's going to happen. So,
you know what I think would be fun? Like this is completely out of left field. It would be so fun if we saw Obafemi win the IC title. I don't know why. I just feel like Obafemi is the IC title before world champion would bring the IC title back up to when Gunther had it. It would be super fun. This would never happen, but Penta, Javon, Obafemi, triple threat for the IC title. That match would feed families, and I would spend all my money to watch that match happen because, he's bouncy. I love Javon Evans. Obafemi's amazing, and Penta is so good. That would be a crazy match, but that would never happen.
I'm not sure I would agree with that. Just because I think the match would be crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That would be insane. No, that's I agree. But I think you said bring it back to when Gunther had it. I think Penta's doing great. The Intercontinental title scene right now is crazy. I mean, what? I've enjoyed it.
Do you want to get into it?
We might as well. We might as well.
We got Rusev in the Big 2-6. We got Rusev in the Big 2-6 fighting for an IC title, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
But this IC title ladder match, though, we can't disagree with that. That was chef's kiss cinema.
That's match of the weekend.
If anybody complains about that, they don't know what professional wrestling is. Is there anything you guys really want to talk about, or is this just the match that did exactly what it needed to do?
Match of the weekend. I think you called it too. So great.
I don't think it was the best match, but
it was up there.
It was so good. I feel like every time there's an IC title ladder match on WrestleMania, it always eats. It is always amazing.
It hits.
And
yes.
This one was so fun. They did so many spots because of the guys that had it. Penta is incredible. Anyone who says that Penta's not that good doesn't know what they're talking about. Javon Evans is amazing.
That boy.
No one cares about Rusev or JD McDonough. But they were just there to fill the spots.
They
didn't even get an entrance.
They showed up though. They showed up. He didn't even get an entrance.
Yeah, Rusev, JD, and Dragon Lee didn't even get an entrance in WrestleMania because of the Hulk Hogan documentary.
I mean, would I have given them an entrance? No. Come on.
It's WrestleMania.
I would give Rusev an entrance.
Maybe in 2015.
We got the vintage Rey Mysterio entrance. That was pretty cool. Him jumping out of the sky. I wish they gave him the music too. The old music would have hit with that. So, but anything else you guys really want to talk about the match? Because I just thought it was exactly what it needed to be. All right, we talked about Oba Brock. Moving on to a match that we knew was going to happen, but we didn't know the stipulation until that morning of. The Demon Finn Balor versus Dominik Mysterio in a street fight. Thoughts on this match?
Go ahead, Ed.
I loved it. We need Demon Fit. We like Face Finn. I think all of us like Face Finn. He deserved the win. It was a travesty what happened when he last brought out the Demon back at WrestleMania 39 against Edge. he was scheduled to win. Then for some reason, Vince booked him to lose. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Yep.
then he was just in the Judgment Day vortex, and now that he's finally out, I want to see him evolve past the Judgment Day to better feuds. Maybe some with Rusev, or I don't know. Maybe even
Santino's
after
face.
this Roman Reigns. Maybe Fatu.
Ah.
Santino, you all right over there, man?
No, I just listen. The match was. This was, in my opinion, I like the Fatu match better for the Street Fight versus the Oh my god, I'm blanking. But you know what I'm talking
The
about.
unsanctioned match?
Unsanctioned,
The
thank
street?
you.
Yeah.
I felt like 70% of the match was Dom beating the hell out of the demon, and I didn't think it should have been not a squash, but I felt like they hype up this demon that this big powerful thing, and he honestly got his salad tossed half the match, and it was like I said with the unsanctioned match. They had blood in this main event, but they can't put it on this one. And this match would have been fire if they added some, blood, and they had the demon kind of do more. I felt like he won. Good for him. He needed this win absolutely badly. I do agree with Ed that he needs to be put in some bigger matches, not against Rusev. I don't know about against Rusev, but I will
You talking
say
about
the
Finn or
demon
Dom?
needs more love. What'd you say?
Talking about Finn
Finn.
or Finn?
Yeah, Finn.
Roman Reigns.
Roman would kill him, but that's besides the point.
They had a pretty good Extreme Rules match, though, back when Roman was the champion.
Yeah.
That was so.
Overall, though, this match was solid. I thought it was going to be better than it was, but at the same time, it did what it had to do. I like the length action in this one, surprisingly, but other than that,
Yeah.
pretty good. I just thought the Demon should have done more.
Yeah. Chris, you got anything? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Never mind. It doesn't fit for this match. This commentary I'm about to say.
Okay. Chris, you got anything to say, or?
I was kind of disappointed. I don't know, disappointed is the right word. I was more excited. I was expecting more from this match. That's really it. I was expecting more. Um, I hope Finn, this face run that he's on, hopefully it produces. He's been heel for way too long, so I'm hoping he gets somewhere with this. Like, give Finn Balor the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, easily. That's where it should be. Penta's doing great.
I'll let Penta hold on to. Dude, Penta needs
No,
to hold on.
Penta needs to hold on for a little bit, but like SummerSlam, Penta versus Finn Balor, give it to Finn Balor. We're somewhere, okay? Because Javon could wait. He's doing great with it. He doesn't need it. And like we said, Rusev, they don't. Okay, so that's all I'll say about the match. It was cool for a third spot. It was solid.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. Street Fight, I thought was pretty cool. It added some cool spots there, and Finn Balor won. If he would have lost, they would have just honestly, it would have been smart to release him and send him to AEW or TNA, bro. He did not deserve to be in WWE if he lost that match. But moving on, before even talking about the next match, he actually won. Sami Zayn's gingerbread looking ass did not win. Trick Williams won the United States Championship. I think we are all in agreement here. The right move. Trick Williams won. Sami Zayn would have won. We would have rioted. It would have been terrible. But Trick Williams won. Him and Little Yachty were celebrating. Trick Williams looked like he had toilet paper or a writing receipt coming out of him on his way down the stage. But other than that, Trick Williams won. It was great. Had a great celebration. And now he's the United States Champion. You guys, thoughts on the match?
I liked the match, but one thing was missing: the double heel turn or double turn. I would have had Trick turn face and Sammy turn heel. Give Sammy that edge to him that he so desperately needs. Because we're tired about the underdog story. We know he's an underdog. I would have him even trim his beard up a bit. He looks like a hobo. No offense to him, but he needs to change up his character. Trick, he could be a good face. I could see him as a good tweener, not fully face, not fully heel. just beefing with whoever has beef with him. But yeah, I like the match. I wish Carmelo Hayes was involved. He so desperately needed to be on WrestleMania. I don't know what went through Triple H's mind when booking this match, but Carmelo Hayes was desperately missed.
Absolutely. Santino, Chris.
I mean, Zach, you know how I feel about Trick Williams. I've been a day one Trick Williams stan. Um, excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. You know, I do
It's
agree.
tricks, sorry.
I'm choking up because of how beautiful that match was. You know, definitely think that Sami should have turned heel. I think at the end of the match that'd been great. I do love where Trick Williams is at though. I think he should stay exactly how he is. He's gonna be a great United States Championship. We're gonna see him versus Carmelo Hayes now. It's gonna be phenomenal. And overall, that match was everything you could have asked for. The receipt thing was funny. I actually thought it was hilarious. And unlike the Eagles this year, he got done what he needed to do. So maybe he should go back and play in the NFL. So
Wow.
Oof.
That
Shots
was
thrown.
that was not necessary.
Shots
That was not
thrown.
necessary whatsoever. But okay, I'm not even gonna say anything because it's not like I could say anything back. We sucked last year, so we'll move on though. At least we got Mikhail up, and that's all I care about. So, but
You a dog.
yeah. So
I'll
go ahead,
say
Chris.
that I'm of the probably minority here. I didn't really care. Okay, I thought the match was kind of boring, just because I feel like if you were like watching the past weeks, you kind of knew that Trick Williams was gonna win, and like Zach said, if he didn't, then we would have all like rushed the WWE
Rioted.
headquarters. Yeah, and it would have been bad. Like I feel like it was obvious. And to harp on Ed's point real quick, I think all you needed for this match to be like steal the night was a triple threat match with Carmelo Hayes. Now I hope the rumors are true that he was hurt, and then that's why he couldn't thing. But I rather them went with the storyline of he got hurt, so his WrestleMania moment is whatever, right? Instead of just him losing to Sami Zayn on the SmackDown and now his title shot gets taken away from him. It was stupid, but the match was okay. But that's all I have to say. I'm glad Trick won.
Yeah, I honestly do agree with you. I thought the match was okay. Just happy the right person won.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead, Chris. We can talk about it. The second championship match. Obviously, we previewed it from night one. Go ahead, you can talk about it because
Well,
there's
Rhea
not.
Ripley versus Jade Cargill, the winner, Rhea Ripley. I already spoke my piece. Really, all I really have to say is that it was the best women's match of WrestleMania. Um, I don't really think it was close either. It was great. The interferences, the EO, Michin, and BFAB, even though they're horrible, but at least they made the match, what it was. Um, right person won. It was two powerhouses, like I said, coming into it. When you have two powerhouses like Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, woof, that's just gonna be. There's no way the match can be bad. Um, so I loved it. I thought it was a great um, preview to the main event, and it was great. I don't really have much to say.
Santino, Ed.
I 100% agree with you, Chris. Zach, I think I talked to you after you guys have released your predictions. I told you, Chris is 100% right. That match was never in doubt going to be worse than the Liv Morgan match. Rhea Ripley's phenomenal. Jade Cargill, she's but when you have someone like Rhea Ripley
Goldberg.
in the ring with her,
Yep.
she will elevate her. And
Yep.
that's exactly what happened. Rhea Ripley is phenomenal.
Yep.
That match was fire.
Yep.
I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. It blew my expectations out of the water. The
Yeah.
right person won. And now
This guy's walking on his high heels, bro. What the heck?
Oh.
I mean, can you blame him? Like, I do think you give that Liv Morgan match maybe double its time, and maybe it's better. But I don't know. That match was fire. Um, like I said, right person won, which always helps out. And overall, you know, I hope Rhea keeps the title for a little bit. I love Rhea as a champion, and yeah, great match overall.
All I gotta say is that before coming into this, I thought Jade Cargill was like a one-trick pony where she would just like do her jaded and like say I'm that bitch, but like now I respect her more. She definitely moved up the rankings when she got in the ring with Rhea, and maybe that might just be Rhea, or maybe she's been putting in, or Jade has been putting in the work. But it was a good match. It was better than the Women's World Championship match because it just was. Maybe because the time restraints. Rhea works better in shorter distances. So does Jade. Maybe that for a number of reasons, but overall, it was a good match. I have no complaints.
I hate you, Triple H. But God, it was a good match. It definitely was good, exceeded my expectations to say the least. But yeah, it was a good match. I'm not gonna say much else about it. You know how I feel about both of them. I like Rhea Ripley, but I think they overuse her too much. And then Jade Cargill, she worked well with Rhea Ripley, but now that she has nothing, she's gonna be buried because I don't see her. They might have a rematch, but it's like they made her have this whole faction and everything, and now she's not even gonna have a proper feud. I don't know. So, but we'll see. But let's
She's about
move
to start
on.
flipping burgers at BurgerFi.
Yes. Uh, Moving on to the main event of all main events for the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns and CM Punk in a pure wrestling match that went over 30 plus minutes, no interferences, just two guys going toe to toe, and Roman Reigns, the OTC, the World Heavyweight Champion, wins the match. What were your guys' thoughts on this match?
Best match on the card, 100%. Um, just goes to show, like, even though CM Punk is getting up there, he's still phenomenal. Roman is still the best in the biz right now. He's unstoppable. Glad he got the title back, even though the whole thing where he was like, "This is the lesser title" when he was
The
the world
undisputed
champion,
champ.
undisputed champ, and I don't really care because now I've always been under the mindset, you know this, Zach. I've always been under the mindset I think there should be one world heavyweight title, and I think it would be really cool. And I know it's, oh my gosh, again, another round. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, unify the belts, call it a day. I doubt they'll ever do. Yeah, they're not gonna do it. But I also just don't like the two
That's why you
championships.
have Crown Jewel.
I just don't like the two championship belts. But obviously that match was amazing. I'm glad there's no interferences. Everyone's like, "Where's the Rock? Where's the Rock?" Leave the Rock out of it, bro. He's a bum. Keep it just to the two
Can't
of them.
commit.
What
The
happened?
final boss.
The final, the final ball. Like it was cool. Like it was cool when when he came in and put the belt. Let him stay. Keep him out of it. Roman did a phenomenal job, and so did Punk. That match was fire. Best match of the card. They ended it on a strong note, and I couldn't be happier with that match.
Chris Ed.
The way that match transpired, like even within the match, it was long too. They gave him a good amount of time. And then the spot I'm thinking about when CM Punk low blowed Roman Reigns, and it wasn't even like a heel turn. It was just like
I
vintage
hate
Punk
you.
thinking, like yeah, just like trying to win. It was a great touch. I loved it. Um, I think to Santino's point, everybody's accustomed to and it's still reliving WrestleMania 40 because that was the top of the top, peak of the peak. And like, I don't think people understand that moment, that main event, the amount of pieces that were put into place for that climax. Whether it was John Cena and Solo Sikoa before, when Solo Sikoa killed him, and then The Rock came in, and then they did the "We Want Cody" and all that, and Roman Reigns' bloodline. It was years, and Jey Uso versus Jimmy. It was years of buildup for WrestleMania 40 for that main event, whether it was on purpose or not. To Santino's point, that's like a miracle for to happen. Main events don't need all these interferences anymore. Like Roman Reigns versus CM Punk was great. Um, so people need to stop like expecting The Rock or expecting a return or a surprise or something. That match was great on its own. It was amazing. So I have no complaints. I do think the right person won just because now we can see new matchups like Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. Boom. Roman Reigns versus I can't even think. They're
Gunther,
trying to do Gunther, right? CM Punk,
Bronson
I think
Reed,
will
Braun Breaker.
yeah. CM Punk will get it back eventually. He'll be champion again, but
I don't
he should.
know.
I think he'll be
I
champion again.
He's
Not
gonna
not
be
from
I
champion,
don't think so.
not
not
from
the
Roman
world
Reigns.
heavyweight,
Not from Roman Reigns. I'm saying. I'm not saying he's gonna, but I think
but not the world
eventually.
heavyweight championship. I think the
No, he's
WWE
probably. It's gonna be Cody.
undisputed. Yeah,
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
Cody. Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Good match. Great match.
Yeah. This match was the best on the card. It was just straight wrestling. It was great. The tomfoolery was very minimal, and it made sense when it happened. Like the low blow, it was when the ref was looking away, so no disqualifications. But like the
yeah.
only
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
criticism I have is like when he hit Punk with the steps outside the ring, and that didn't result in DQ, but it was the main event of WrestleMania, so like the ref had a little leeway. That's my only complaint. But the bigger problem I have is like the world championships only seem to change at WrestleMania or SummerSlam when there's not an injury that's happening. Like
Like
that's
Seth
the only.
Rollins. Yeah.
I'd like to see like short title reigns, like 1 to 2 months every so often. Like maybe I, I don't want to. Rusev could have a great 1 to 2 month title reign, just a mini feud, like back and forth with like Fatu if he were to win against Roman Reigns, and then it goes back to Fatu, then back to Reigns.
Yeah, I
Just
say
a
too.
little fun Reigns. It doesn't have to be every SummerSlam or WrestleMania that the title has to change hands.
Yeah, no, I like that aspect because I think you used to have that back maybe like 10 years ago, and that's what gave the general shock to championships. Now it's very often that you see the championship changes. And like you said, the only reason we saw the championship change because Seth Rollins' injury and then that Drew McIntyre, like that was just pure shock. Like that's the last time we really had something like that. Just looking at the match as a whole, I thought it was great. I think Roman needed to win. Get Punk carry the championship for that for up the lead up to WrestleMania. Give him some time off, maybe get him in a feud for the summer, and then I think they're setting up for him and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 43 in some capacity. I think it's going to happen. They kind of previewed it the Monday after Mania. I think you're gonna see it a little bit more as time goes on. We're gonna see how things unfold with Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank is now after SummerSlam, so we'll see how everything unfolds there. But just looking at this match as a whole, Roman won, and now he's the World Heavyweight Champion. But before we wrap things up, we're not going to go too into depth with Raw and SmackDown. I just want to ask you guys about all the call-ups that have happened. We have Sol Ruka, uh, Ethan Page, and Joe Henry on Raw, and then Ricky
Ethan Page
Saints.
is one of my favorites.
Same. And then you have Ricky Saints, Fatal Influence, and Blake Monroe on SmackDown. How do you guys feeling about the call-ups as a whole?
Listen, I was not familiar with Sol Ruka's game before. She is like that. Sol Ruka is so tough, and I don't listen as repetitive it's gonna get. I believe in Joe Hendry, and I think those two. Ethan Page is cool. He cool and all. Joe Hendry and Sol Ruka are gonna make a huge splash. I'm so excited to watch him. Sol Ruka, the Soul Snatcher, is one of the toughest finishers in the business right now. It you don't. I can't tell if it's a yes or no.
No, I'm saying you're right. It's nasty. Yeah. No, you're right. No,
It's
that's what I'm
fun.
saying. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm really the call ups were great. I'm really excited to see how they do, but especially Sol Ruka and Joe Henry.
I think I totally agree with everything you said. Joe Hendry reminds me of like Elias. He's gonna go on like an Elias type run with his fucking concerts. Okay, so that's good. Ethan Page, I think his ceiling is kind of like the Miz. Like I think Ethan Page could have a crazy Intercontinental Championship run for like mid card title, being a heel, cheating and stuff of that nature.
Like he did with the
Um,
NXT North American Championship. But don't also
um,
forget he won the NXT Championship on a crazy thing where he fell on Javon Evans. So don't be
yeah,
surprised
yeah,
if he has one championship run with the world or undisputed champion. I would be, but I do agree with the
like the
Intercontinental
Miz. Yeah, yeah,
Championship.
yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But you
Um,
go ahead. Say you were saying.
Yeah, so he's good. So Ruka, like Santino said, great. She needs to give her the United States, to give her the Intercontinental, to give her something. Like, oof, okay. And then with Fatal Influence, I think it's a needed addition to the women's roster. Um, and I'm excited. But then time out because Wolf's my favorite of them all, who I hope, I don't know why they're giving him vignettes. No, no, they should have made him on air. My favorite of them all, Ricky Saints. Okay, they put, but yo, bro, if they ruin him, I'm gonna be mad because they sent him to NXT for a year and some shit. Fine, right? They need to treat him like they were treating him in AEW, like when peak AEW, when Ricky Starks was peak AEW and he was going crazy. Okay, Ricky, don't job him and make him lose to freaking, you know, whatever. He needs to
Otis.
be, yeah, he needs to
Matt
be
Cardona.
easily, yeah, easily start him off with the mid card. Fine, he needs to be on the upper echelon because he's like that. Love Ricky Saints, so I'm excited to see him on SmackDown. Respectfully.
Yeah,
I
no.
think we'd like
I'm
to
sorry,
move
Ed.
in a different direction and maybe transition to the releases that happened because there were a lot of controversial releases. We saw Aleister Black go, Selena Vega go. Aleister Black was just re-signed last year. Like he didn't even last a full month in or a full year in the company. He was off by a day to go a full year. And we also saw Kairi Sane go, who was in the middle of the storyline, which pisses me off so much because you just released it without any payoff. And then you had some other releases like and the Performance Center talent. But
And then the Wyatt Six too, the whole
Wyatt
Wyatt Six
Six,
too.
yeah. The whole Wyatt Six. I understand that it was booking that failed them. They were never they inserted the booking, put themselves right into the Otis Chad Gable feud when it was red hot, and then that killed Otis and Chad Gable's momentum. And then we also saw what happened with El Grande Americano. I won't get into that, but when the White Six, the supernatural stuff doesn't work right now because like we're in an age of technology with we're it just doesn't work. The only reason it worked for the Undertaker is because we didn't see any of him outside of WWE. But now we even have shows like WWE Unreal showing the whole process, which takes the magic out of it. But the one I was sad to see go was Eric Rowan. He was the bald dude with the red beard. He was my favorite of the Wyatt Six, and Dexter Loomis. Those two were probably the my favorite of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, it's so tough to see them go after what they had in the Wyatt family and like how they started off the Wyatt Six. It looked like they were going to be this group. Like they're literally their debut was one of the greatest debuts I've ever seen. The way they just you go to the locker room and everyone's just destroyed, and there was terrible booking that ruined them. And then you just look at Kyrie Sane. That one I was the most pissed off about because they literally took her out of the. We're getting Asuka and Io Sky at Backlash. You literally could have paid off Kyrie Sane right there, her turning on Asuka, and the Kyrie babyface run starts. But no, you have to release her, and I don't think she's coming back. I don't think it's going to be like an R-Truth situation. It shouldn't be at this point. If you're going to release her, just let her go. Like, don't do this to
Yeah.
us and stuff like that. So, but
Also,
go ahead.
some other people that were released were the King of Catering himself, Apollo Crews. It's his title has now been taken over by Matt Cardona.
Yes.
And Alba Fire, who was a key woman in Chelsea's regime, is gone now. Andre Chase is gone of Chase U from NXT.
Chris.
Wait, guys,
And
can we just have a conversation? I think
Motor
we
City
all.
Machine Guns
Oh
are
my
gone
gosh,
too.
guys, we have to stop acting. Let's have a conversation. Just
The
one.
City Machine Guns can hoop.
Okay, but if they can, before we go, right? Just do a quick conversation. Just a quick conversation because I'm seeing the IWC, the Twitter community, whatever you want to call everybody. I don't get this ridiculous outrage for these releases. When these guys are on TV, it's a pooping break. Okay, it's either a pooping break or I want to go get Taco Bell. I'm going somewhere else. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega were boring. They were Karrion Kross and Scarlett too, and it didn't work. Okay, we can blame it on them. We can blame it on booking. It didn't work. So that didn't surprise me that they were released. I don't. They should go some. That's fine. The Wyatt Six. It was good for a moment, to relive Bray Wyatt.
It was a
but
Bo
that,
Dallas tribute or
but that
Bray
was
Wyatt
but
tribute.
that was never going to be long term because especially when you had them in the same feud with Solo Sikoa for a year. Okay, that was boring. Every time on SmackDown, I didn't watch. It was a skip. Okay, Alpha Fire, nobody cares. The Motor City Machine Guns. I forgot they were on the roster. Okay, they just don't really fit the WWE regime. You can blame it on booking. You can blame it on them again. Whatever. And
We're
then.
having a thing with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, but nobody's really. I don't think that's not really entertaining to me. Unless that's just personally, I don't really. I just
It's
never
because
really cared.
I think it all transpires because of the fallout of the tag team division. When that fell out, when that fallout on SmackDown happened, all the tag teams suffered. Realistically,
Maybe, but I don't. I just think I think it's specific to each tag team because Solo Sikoa is in a tag. I like Solo Sikoa. Okay, maybe there's just him. I like him. Street Profits. I
I like Solo Sikoa.
I like certain tag teams. It's just them. The Motor
No, I'm
City Machine
saying though,
Guns.
like the fallout of the SmackDown tag team division affected some rather than others. Because don't forget, Motor City Machine Guns, the matches they were having with the Street Profits, Fraxium, back when the tag team
Remember
division.
the match after WrestleMania
Yes,
41 with the ladder match? That was like the best match of the year.
It was because
Guys,
fans were
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with
Yeah.
you in terms of the matches were great, but I also think, like we all know, WWE, you have to have some type of personality. They were like their storylines. I
They're
didn't
from
care.
Detroit.
Like they didn't really weren't interesting to me, right? Personally, that's why I don't really care. And last one, Corey Sane, woof, guys. I mean, yes, the storyline that she was in was cool, but I don't think it's the biggest outrage everybody's making it seem
But
like
she
it.
literally just had a match that Monday and actually looked pretty good again against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. She's a good performer, and I don't think. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we had to release some talent to get new talent.
Yeah, but
so.
I will say that the ones that are hurting the most are NXT because they lost a lot of people, so they're gonna have to really figure out what they want to do with everything there because they just lost.
They also got some new talent. They got
Yeah.
Evil from
Yes.
Japan, who's apparently Io Sky's fiance. They got Will Coors
Yeah,
from the UK independent circuit, and they got Lizzie Rain,
yeah, I did see
whose
that.
uncle is the drummer of the Iron Maiden band.
Yeah, I just think with NXT, I'm just saying though in a sense where it's like a lot of what carried like NXT was really good over this past year, and it's happy to see that those people that earned it over these past years are now getting the opportunity to show here. Before we sign things off, the most person I'm excited about is Ethan Page. Although I don't think he might not be that championship level guy, he might already have a match at Backlash for the Fatal 4-Way with Javon Evans, Rusev, and Penta. I think that match is going to hit. And then just to have Ethan Page in this ecosystem fighting for this type of championship, just being in the locker room, he's going to bring a lot to it. He's going to be that perfect heel that's always on the someone's always fighting with someone, always getting in someone getting under someone's skin. So, but this is all we have for you guys. For when it comes to our next video, will probably be our Backlash predictions. We're going to see how this next Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown go, see if we can get a better feel for that. But other than that, we appreciate our special guest Santino coming on and giving our thoughts about WrestleMania and just how everything transpired over WrestleMania and the week after that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Signing out here from CWS, Zach, Ed, Chris, and Santino signing out. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. We'll talk to you guys later, and peace.